And the FiVB proudly welcomes you and presents the 24th edition of the World League Finals. 18 countries, 90 matches in the preliminaries. This is the second half of our doubleheader. Number 8, Bulgaria. They were 7-3 in the Intercontinental round, currently ranked in the top 10 in the world, taking on the hosts from Argentina. They certainly struggled in the preliminary. They are ranked at number 9, and certainly anything can happen when Argentina plays at home. As mentioned, 18 countries, 90 matches, and we are down to these 6, and now it's time. The winner's prize, $1 million. This is the World League Finals, and this is Mar del Plata, Argentina. And we welcome you inside the Isla Malvinas Competition Center. And these are the pools, the two pools. We're going to show you Pool D, Argentina, Bulgaria, and Italy. If you're just joining us on our coverage from the other pool, Pool E, Brazil lost to Russia in 5 sets. So a real bang-up start to these World League Finals. And Italy in there as well, currently as the reigning bronze medalist from the Olympic Games and ranked number 3 in the world. So a very competitive group and a very, very important match for both of these teams, because a real question mark as to who might advance out of these 3 into the semifinals. The other group consisting of Brazil, Russia, and Canada. So the teams about to be introduced will have the playing of their national anthems, the introduction of the officials for this evening's second half of the doubleheader, and then we will get underway. And certainly Argentina will be glad to be playing at home. They hosted the World League Finals a couple of years ago. As far as their participations, this is their 15th appearance in the World League overall. Their best finish was 5th on 2 occasions in 2009 and in 2010. They finished 5th at the London Olympic Games, lost to Brazil in the quarterfinals. As far as Bulgaria is concerned, their 16th appearance in the World League. They were 4th last year when they hosted in Sofia, equaled their best ever finish, and still looking for their first ever podium. They finished 4th at the London Olympic Games, losing to eventual champions from Russia in the semifinals and to Italy for the bronze medal. The teams are at center court, and now time for the playing of the national anthems from Bulgaria and Argentina. Well, there is the playing of the national anthems from the hosts Argentina and Bulgaria, the second match of these World League finals as far as these two teams and their history is concerned. In the World League, it's the 16th meeting overall. Bulgaria has won 12 of the previous meetings and won both earlier this year as both Bulgaria and Argentina competed in Group A. Bulgaria was 7-3, Argentina only notching one win their opening match over the United States. And an exchange of gifts, and there is Javier Weber, one of the most famous and distinguished athletes, let alone volleyball players in Argentine sports. Played for Argentina from 1985 to 2002, a bronze medal at the Seoul Olympic Games. And now for the introduction of our two referees. On your left is Denis Cespedes from the Dominican Republic. He will be the head referee, and Nasser Shaban will be the umpire or second referee, and he hails from Egypt. So we're just moments away from first serve, introduction of the starting lineups. Bulgaria is a hot team. They started out so-so in the World League. They beat France, then beat Argentina, as I mentioned, and then won a critical match in the United States, and then beat Poland twice to assure themselves a spot in the finals. So this is a very capable team. Svetan Sokolov is a star, still a young star at only 23 years of age. Physically, this is a very talented team, but sometimes very inconsistent. Georgy Bratoev, one of two twin brothers. Todor Alexeyev will get the start at one outside hitting position. Svetoslav Gotsev in the middle. Todor Skrimov, a very good ball control player, and I think somebody really to watch. Theodor Yosifov will be one middle blocker, and there is Svetan Sokolov, and the libero is very good indeed, Torodor Salporov. Their coach, Camilo Placci, 5 years he was an assistant in Bulgaria and has now taken over as the head coach. Interesting what went on with Bulgaria the year before, or I should say the month before the Olympic Games. More on that as they lost their head coach and also lost one of the best players in the world, Matej Kaczynski, who is still not playing for Bulgaria. He turned down the invitation. There is the starting seven, if you will, and their positions on the court. And now the introduction for the starting lineup for Argentina. Argentina's been struggling the last couple of years. Their golden age was back in the 80s. They were third at the World Championships in 1982, third at the Seoul Olympic Games in 1988. That was really their golden age. Javier Weber played on several of those teams, most notably in 1988. But they're trying to rebuild a young team. They had the youngest team at the London Olympic Games, ended up finishing fifth, but they've suffered a real difficult injury to their star, Facundo Conti. He's here, along with his very famous father, Ugo Conti, who also played with Javier Weber on those very successful teams. He's doing television for Argentina. And Facundo Conti, I think, is among the best all-around players in the world. And he's maybe the best young player in the world right now. And he is out with a shoulder injury that he suffered while playing professionally in Russia, and is still unavailable for Argentina during the course of the season and in these World League finals. So Argentina in their very familiar stripes of light blue and white. There is Camilo Placci. He was the assistant to Naiden Naidenov at the Olympic Games after the great turmoil. And Argentina will serve first. Todor Alexeyev is the big star for Bulgaria. Their captain was the leading scorer and leading receiver at last year's World League Finals in Sofia when Bulgaria finished fourth, and we're underway. And not a very auspicious start as the ball is served out of bounds by Bulgaria. Pablo Creer in the middle, Luciano Di Cecco the setter. Ivan Castellani will see a lot of Rodrigo Quiroga. I'll check the starting lineup. Sebastian Solé. And Federico Pereira, just passing the ball there, certainly one of the keys for Argentina. And Quiroga immediately with the kill into the cross court. Very undersized, but very, very effective indeed. He's got to pass exceptionally well. He's got to play superb defense to make up for some of what he lacks. Only coming in at about 193, 194 is Quiroga. So Bulgaria on the easy side out, and they will serve once again. Here is Svetan Sokolov. Not a very good toss, and he misses that. Quiroga only 1 meter, 90 centimeters. And immediately out of the middle again. Argentina has got to serve really, really well and play superb defense in order to try to slow down Bulgaria and their first ball side out. Todor Skrimov. Bulgaria going with a little bit smaller lineup, but I like it. Better ball control, better all-around play. That is really a good bump set by Quiroga. Pereira covered, high up into the block, restarting the point. Quickly to the outside, and Sokolov can't make the dig. Best 3 out of 5 sets. First 4 sets to 25 points. Must win by 2. Fifth set if necessary, which it was between Russia and Brazil in the opening match of these World League Finals. Russia coming out on top. Sokolov down the line, and a net violation is going to be called against Argentina. Argentina arguing that it was the ball that hit the top of the tape, but the umpire says no. And another service error. This is kind of the same formula that Brazil and Russia started at the beginning of their match. Lots of service errors. Kind of a sloppy start, but I think Argentina will be energized by this home crowd. Not quite a sellout on a very chilly Wednesday night here in Mar del Plata. Of course, it's winter here in the southern hemisphere, but you all knew that. And that ball right on the end line. So Bulgaria showing the tendency right now, going to Gatsev there. They have already set the majority of balls either to Sokolov out of the back row or to the middle, trying to take advantage there. Georgi Bratoev, his twin brother Valentin, a very good wing spiker on this team. Todor Alexeyev, that patented cross-court angle that he likes to hit so much, but the key to that play was Todor Skrimov on the defensive save. Svetan Sokolov, 2 meters, 6 centimeters, about 115 kilos, and just a dynamic young player. Our first look at Federico Pereira, moved from the opposite position at the Olympic Games, now playing wing spiker. And wearing some of the wildest, most radioactive shoes you ever want to look at. There is Pereira. He's wearing some bright orange shoes. Probably see those from outer space somewhere. Quiroga down the line. That might have gone right through the hands of Svetan Sokolov. Hit very crisply that time by Quiroga. And one of the fine young pairs of middle blockers, Pablo Creer and Sebastian Solé. This is Creer back to serve. Both very, very young in their early 20s. Sokolov again, nicely down the line. And we have come to the first technical timeout of the opening set here in Mar del Plata, with Bulgaria leading Argentina 8-6. So coming out of the first technical timeout, Svetoslav Gotsev, young middle blocker for Bulgaria, back to serve. Right side again, Sokolov off the middle blocker, Soleil kept alive, good hustle by Argentina. Send the ball high to set their defense, into the middle, no. Sokolov again over the top. Quiroga having to aim awfully high. High flat shot into the block. Quiroga off to a very good start, and I love the libero. Alexis Gonzalez wearing number 16 in the dark blue jersey for Argentina. I think he is one of the very, very best in the business. Bruno Ramanuti now serving. Ace serve for Argentina. And just like that, we're tied at 8. That's perfect location, right on or just inside the back line. Todor Skrimov. He and Rodrigo Quiroga about the same size, bring the same thing to the table. Teams need players who can do everything. Give up a little blocking at the net, but Skrimov is really good. Sokolov really off the mark right now as far as his serving is concerned. And so off the air, Rodrigo Quiroga will go back to serve. Some very interesting bloodlines. Ace serve on the floater. The parting of the Bulgarian Sea as that ball drops to the floor. Quiroga's uncle, Raul, another very famous player for Argentina. The uncle was a 2-time Olympian. Oh, very nice fake. Good defense by Bulgaria. Skrimov, smart shot into the block, restarting the point. Skrimov again, inside and off of Pereira. Very good volleyball by Skrimov, number 8 on the outside. Made all the right decisions. Soft shot into the block. Bulgaria gets the offensive rebound, and then he's able to slice off the angle. Make no mistake, he can play with the big boys. Only 191. There's room for everybody in this game, but you've got to be really good all around, and he serves that ball just over the end line. Javier Weber, what a job he has done with this young team. Had a complete turnover the last couple of years. Boy, what is Argentina doing with their service game? Already 3 aces for Argentina. And Camilo Placci, the first-year head coach for Bulgaria, has seen enough. He wants a timeout. Timeout is called by Bulgaria with Argentina leading 12-10. Of note that Camilo Placci, yes, is Italian. And he was speaking Italian to his Bulgarian players, many of whom have spent some time playing in Italy's fine professional league. So that is the language of choice to communicate. Language of necessity, I think. Oh, that ball somehow went down in front of Skrimov. Mentioned Bulgaria sometimes is wildly inconsistent. They just don't keep their energy level or their fighting spirit at the same high level that they need to for long periods of time. Here is Sébastien Solé. Solé made one really good dig and just missed that. Solé might have taken that ball right away from Quiroga. As Viktor Yosifov goes back to the line, 27 years of age, 2 meters, 4 centimeters. One of the older Bulgarian players, along with Todor Alexeyev, otherwise pretty young team for Bulgaria. And another service error. Bulgaria has a little more physicality. They should be able to put some pressure on from the service line, but haven't done so. And quite to the contrary, it's been Luciano Di Cecco for Argentina. And the South Americans who have done most of the damage from the service line already with 3 aces. Quick set out of the middle and nicely done off of Gatsev. Very easy serve and handled quite simply by Argentina. Substitution coming on. Nicolas Bruno will come in to serve and play defense for Federico Pereira. Alexeyev high up into the block and out of bounds. That's a very, very smart swing. Into the late middle blocker and then deflects that ball off of Argentina and out of bounds. He really was superb on home turf last year at the World League Finals. The best receiver and also the best attacker in terms of percentage. Beautiful set by Di Cecco. Javier Weber told me a couple of years ago that in due course Luciano Di Cecco would be the best young setter in the world. And you're starting to see part of the reason why. And Javier Weber knows a little bit about setting. And with that score, Argentina leads 16-13. And the teams will step to the sideline for the second technical timeout. There is Facundo Conti on the left of your screen. out after undergoing shoulder surgery. Had a wonderful Olympic Games as the young Argentines didn't meet their objectives as they were eliminated in 5th place, losing to Brazil. But Argentina certainly knows that they have a star of the future on their hands. He's already established himself as one of the best players in the world, make no mistake. His father, of course, the one and only Hugo Canti in the Volleyball Hall of Fame and one of Argentina's greatest players, played in the 84, 88, and 2000 Olympic Games. And he is here working television for Argentina. That ball was set a little bit low, tough transition. Oh, a little pokey by DeCecco, and off the block and out of bounds. Boy, everything going Argentina's way of late. Remember, they trailed at the first technical timeout 8-6. So since that time, they've gone on a pretty nice run, and Camilo Placci now going to be pleading with his Bulgarian team to start getting their act together and play with a little more energy. He's used his second timeout. Argentina leading 18-13. Some words from head coach Javier Weber, now in his 5th year as head coach of Argentina, and the attention that they're playing to Svetan Sokolov. He mentioned his name 3 times in that 30-second timeout. And that's off the block and out of bounds, missed by Sebastian Solé. Gatsev with the kill. You can see the Bulgarians just seemingly trying to get themselves going. They keep using that hand motion, you know, come on, let's roll, let's roll, let's go. Well, okay, but this is the seemingly the inconsistency of Bulgaria at times. There's some confusion at the table about whether or not Argentina is in their right serving rotation. That's being sorted out. That's Nasser Shaban, the umpire. There is Javier Weber. This is critical. It does happen. It happens rarely, but a team will get out of service order, and then they will lose the point that they have gained, or points, because they have to go back to when the illegal rotation or substitution was executed. Score sheet now kept digitally. There you see the official score at this time, and Javier Weber doing the smart thing. He's shaking his head, but he's walking away. And Camilo Placci just waiting for his Bulgarian team. Again, they're riding a pretty nice piece of momentum coming into this tournament. A big win at the United States to get themselves back into the mix of a playoff spot. And then they went to Brazil, were competitive, didn't play particularly well, but then they beat Poland twice at home, and they were into the finals. Well, Javier Weber is very, very upset. He's yelling at the official score. It's taking too long. Shouldn't take this long to sort it out. Well, right now, the official's just trying to restore some order. Denis Cespedes is the head referee. Gatsev was about to serve, but still sorting out what's going on with this rotation. Scoreboard now says 18-14. Luciano DeCecco, show you what a world game it's become, is speaking to Camillo Placci in perfect Italian, explaining that we're all good. This taking too long. Too long. Argentina with all the momentum, and now that ball hit out of bounds. Boy, that is a big miss. That's a big miss by Bulgaria. That 2-point switch could have made it 18-15. Bulgaria not playing yet, but give credit to Argentina. They've already registered 3 aces. They've come out looking sharp. And they're still talking about the substitution at the table. There is the captain, Luciano DeCecco. He's the only one who can participate in the conversation, at least legally, if you will. Young woman doing her best to try to keep it straight. But certainly the focus of the last couple of minutes here at the Isla Malvinas Competition Hall, home for the World League Finals. And the discussion continues at the scorers table. This is the head of the officials commission coming down to, you know, good thing it's early in this match. It's only the first set. Could you imagine if something like this happened in the 4th or the 5th set? Well, there you heard it. We go now. And Rodrigo Quiroga will go back to serve. Well, just thank goodness this didn't happen in the 5th set, tied at 13-all. Oh. You can't let this be a distraction. You just can't for either team. Argentina still leading 19-15. Block on the outside by Bertoev, the setter. Now Bulgaria trying to create some emotion, trying to create some energy. That's a really nice block, really good look, working hard to get to the outside. Svetan Sokolov can be not a good server, a great server, but so far his toss has been way off the mark, and still is. He's tossing the ball too far into the court. That's just too far into the court. Take a little off, get a few in, get some momentum. Comfortable lead now for Argentina. And now Todor Alexeyev, the captain for Bulgaria, is going over to question whether or not they're in the right positions. Soleil to serve. Boy, lots of distraction going on. And it's really taken the crowd, out of the match. Soleil, a little self-defense. And that off the top of the block. No touch detected. And there still seems to be some confusion at the officials' table as to whether or not the rotations are correct. Lubomir Ganev, the head of the delegation for Bulgaria, came over to question at the jurors' table. Oh, what a block again. Bratoev back-to-back stuff blocks, and just like that, it's 20-18. I said you can't let it affect you. Bulgaria has allowed this to, the distraction of what's gone on with the rotation at the scorers table affected positively. And Argentina, it caused them to lose a lot of momentum. Well, just to give you an idea of what an important occurrence that was with the confusion at the scorers table, when it happened, Bulgaria trailed 18-13. For serving out of order, Argentina was penalized a point, making it 18-14, and now it is 20-18. So Bulgaria has gone on a nice run to get themselves back into this match, and that ball by Rumanuti, wide open down the sideline, hit straight out of bounds. And if Argentina lets this opening set get away, I know it's early, but they are in big trouble. Quiroga is passing brilliantly, and Pereira right on this, overruled. Denis Cespedes said that ball was right next to him and out of bounds. Take another look. Yeah, that ball's out of bounds. That is clearly out of bounds and a good overrule. Teams back out on the floor, and now the focus back to Argentina. They had all the momentum. Again, they had an 18-13 lead, and then all that confusion over whether or not they were serving in the right order. That ball served just out of bounds. That is a big break for Argentina. They got the lead by playing defense, passing exceptionally well, 3 service errors. All of that has gone away in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Argentina is not particularly physical. They're not going to block a lot of balls. As example there, Svetan Sokolov with the kill there. And a couple of substitutions. Dobomir Dimitrov coming in, number 9, to play some defense. Add just a little bit. I really like what Camilo Placci does. He has made Bulgaria a better volleyball team. You watch Bulgarian warm-ups and you go, boy, they've got athletes who can compete with anybody, but the game takes a lot more than that. Defense, serve reception, transition, understanding the game. And that ball served out of bounds. Wow. You come in as a serving specialist. You can't do that. So Dimitrov will head back to the sideline. Federico Pereira. I guess he just loves orange. Look at that. The border of the court matches his shoes. Those are wild. Oh, he almost grabbed that. Wow. That looked like a LeBron James hang and deliver slam dunk. Now, you can throw the ball down with 2 hands. I think it was close, but it was okay. It was close. Argentina is going to have a big sigh of relief if they're able to pull out this opening set, because they had it completely under control and they let it get away. Wow. That's off the block and out of bounds. No question that Pablo Krieger got a piece of that. And Todor Alexeyev, he is a crafty, crafty veteran player. Good shot into the block, restart the point, Skrimov there with the cover. I was surprised that Sokolov didn't get this set, but he did not. 23-22. Oh, look at that. Luciano De Cecco with the bump one, and I'm not sure he had many options here. That is an amazing play. Totally unexpected. Really a great play by their captain, De Cecco. Really good. Grigory Bratoev getting up a little bit slowly there. Nicholas Uriarte, backup setter, coming on now to serve. Svetlana Sokolov once again. De Cecco coming over to talk to the master, Javier Weber, on the good pass. Where do you want me to go? Set point, number one. Make it number 2 for Argentina. Alexeyev, pretty good serve. Short jump float, overpass, Bulgaria chance to tie. And that ball off the top of the block and down. Wow. Not a very tough serve. Camilo Placi, the Bulgarian coach, is just laughing right now because they had that one given to them. So Bulgaria somehow dodges 2 set points. Now we're tied at 24. Oh, one-on-one block by Skrimov. Todor Skrimov, 1-meter-91, one-on-one against Rumanuti. How good is that? 3 straight points by Bulgaria. Now they have a set point. And tied out of the middle. Sebastian Solé registering the kill. Boy, he has gotten a lot stronger since the first time I saw him a couple of years ago when he just came on the scene as a teenager. Probably put on about 10 kilos, spent a good deal of time in the weight room. Tied at 25. Skrimov again. He's been the best player on the floor so far in the opening set. Serving, defense, serve, receive, blocking. Set point number 2 for Bulgaria. Argentina has already had 2 set points. Gatsev. Out of the middle again, and once again, back across his body. The Bulgarian defense, their right back is not in position to play this ball at all. Watch the left side of your court. See, Grigory Bratoev, he's way too far into the court. He's got to be much nearer the sideline to defend that angle. Tied at 26. Sokolov having to hustle after that. Very nice play. Well, he is the big horse on this team. He's got to carry a huge load. And given Theodor Salparov, second best libero in the World League Finals last year in Sofia. Giving him a little piggyback ride, as we say. Set point number 3. Pereira down the line and out of bounds. So Bulgaria comes back from an 18-13 deficit. And after all of that confusion at the scorer's table, quite frankly, Argentina gave that set away. They hit ball after ball out of bounds. And Bulgaria takes the opening set 28-26. That will be a bitter pill for Argentina to swallow because they had that opening set completely under control. This is the World League Finals, the opening night from Mar del Plata, Argentina. Thanks so much for joining us. On behalf of the FiVB, I'm Paul Sunderland. Brazil lost to Russia in the opening match 3-2, and we are just underway. Here in the nightcap, Bulgaria over Argentina 28-26 in the first set of this best 3 out of 5. Pretty even set as far as the overall numbers are concerned, but it was basically a set divided in half. Most of what Argentina did well, including those 3 aces that you see on your left, all of that came very early, and most of the damage done by Bulgaria's offense and some of their blocking. Outblocked, as I thought they would. They outblocked Argentina 3-0 in that opening set. Teams gathered around their respective head coaches. For Bulgaria, that is Camilo Placi in his first year after 5 years as an assistant, and there is Javier Weber, the head coach, now in his 5th year leading the Argentine effort. That gentleman to the left of Javier Weber was also one of the great players in the history of Argentine volleyball of a more recent generation. Marcos Milinkovic played a huge role for Argentina for a decade and a half, maybe more, and now he is Javier Weber's first assistant coach. So the team's back out on the floor to start the second set. Remember, the first 4 sets to 25 points, must win by 2. The 5th set, if necessary, will be played to 15. And we'll see how Argentina reacts, how they come out for the second set, because they gave the first away. Very undisciplined performance for Argentina. 1 substitution coming on, number 20 in white and light blue, Pablo Bengeloa. He is an outside hitter, and against the United States early in the season, had a chance to see him, and he played very well. Working on Quiroga, and I'm not exactly sure why. He is really a wonderful volleyball player and a great passer. I would not be serving him. Bengoleia is on, replacing Federico Pereira. And Pereira, that's a lot of size for Argentina. So Argentina just went from small to smaller. I'll tell you, as good as Quiroga is, he's got a bad habit. He is so quick. He digs a lot of balls with one hand. Watch out of the left side. So he just sticks out one hand. Move your body in front of that ball. Just don't stick out one hand. He's made a couple of digs already that way, but you can't fall in love with that. That's not good technique. That's a really good shot off the hands of Bulgaria. No question about the touch. And Quiroga has been very efficient so far. He led the way with 5 points in the opening set, 4 of those coming on spikes. He had one of the aces, Todor Skrimov, had 6 points for Bulgaria. Sitan Sokolov. Boy, that is a mismatch. Make no mistake. Sokolov at 2 meters 6 centimeters against Rodrigo Quiroga at 190. Oh, that's a nice cut back out of the middle once again by Sebastian Solé. And Bulgaria is not doing a good job adjusting. Almost every ball hit by Solé out of the middle has been crossbody, meaning he's pulling the ball from right across his body to his left. And Bulgaria has got to adjust to that, both in terms of how they block and also how they play defense behind. Sokolov's off to a good start as far as hitting the ball. I don't know what you do against him except just play solid. He's going to get his. Last match of the Intercontinental round in Varna in Bulgaria against Poland, Sokolov had 31 points. Salperov has got to make that dig. He just flinched on it a little bit when the ball changed direction after it hit off the block. And that ball will sail well long. Neither team has done much damage at all from the service line. That was 21-year-old Sebastian Solé missing that. Bengolea just having to keep that ball in play, as does Todor Alexeyev. And good hustle here by Bulgaria and a nice stab to keep the ball alive. And that ball dug, but just out of bounds. Alexis Gonzalez let that ball go. Pretty good dig by Svetlana Sokolov. Watch the chase here. That's a pretty good move by an athlete the size of Svetlana Sokolov, who also hangs in, wearing number 19, also made that dig. Alexeyev dug by Quiroga. Bengolea is blocked straight down on the outside. Bratoev already with 3 stuff blocks. Doing really a good job blocking out of the setting position. Tied at 5, second set. If you're just joining us, Russia beat Brazil earlier this evening in the opening match of this doubleheader. 2 matches per day, 3 days of the preliminary round, and then the semifinals on Saturday, finals on Sunday. Oh. Bengolea stuffed once again, this time by Sokolov. Oh, that's as good as it gets. He might have blocked that ball with his face. No, guess not. But that was, watch this. That was really impressive. But it equals a missed serve in the scorebook. Javier Weber's got his work cut out for him now, given the way his Argentinian team collapsed in that opening set. Remember, they led 18-13. Quiroga down the line. Lineman a little bit hesitant, but called that ball out of bounds. Quiroga immediately acknowledging to his teammates that he had made an error. Yeah, that ball clearly out of bounds. Everybody knew it. Oh, that's nicely done. Pablo Krier out of the middle, 2 meters, 5 centimeters. Both middle blockers for Argentina now 22 years of age. They could be around for 10 years. And that's good news for Argentina. Smart shot by Sokolov to reset the point. And then misses that ball out of bounds. And we've come to the technical timeout. Argentina, after the error by Svetan Sokolov, leading Bulgaria 8-7 at the first technical timeout. Second set, Bulgaria leading 1-0. Still hear and see emotionally trying to fight off what happened in that opening set when, again, Argentina had a big lead. The crowd was involved. Everything was going in their direction. Bulgaria came out very, very slowly. But then there was all the confusion at the scorer's table, and Bulgaria took full advantage. That ball tapped straight to the floor. No trouble that time by Svetan Sokolov. Svetoslav Gatsev back to serve. Another very young middle blocker. He too, like the Argentine pair, only 22 years of age. That ball missed out of bounds. Bengalea, I'll tell you, he came on the floor to replace Federico Pereira, and he's been blocked twice and hit a ball out of bounds. They need something from him. Right now, he's been a negative. And that ball sails just over the end line. Romanuti will go back to serve. Perfect set by Alexeyev. Well, he is such a good all-around player. Stepping in, receiving lots of serves, playing good defense, and then setting the off ball. The set there by number 15, the Bulgarian captain, was the key. Pretty smart shot off the top of the block by Skrimov, but the set was certainly perfect. Sokolov, change of speed for the ace, and here comes Federico Pereira coming back into the match. I thought so. He's going to come in and replace Bengalea, who was not long for this match. Bulgaria now leading 11-9. And if I'm Bulgaria, I go right after Federico Pereira. He's been struggling a little bit, but Sokolov can't serve tonight. He's missed every jump serve that he's tried. Every one. Quiroga now for Argentina, trailing by 1. And that ball out of bounds, couldn't be controlled by Soleil after a very good dig by Quiroga. Quiroga there again. He does everything, all the little stuff. That ball hit out of bounds by Romanuti. And Javier Weber, I think, is really, really debating, should I call timeout now? This one almost to the floor. Good play by Quiroga, and then spinning out of the way, and Romanuti missed that one inside the block of Yosifov. And that's going to be a net violation called against Bulgaria. Ratoev pleading innocent across the board. Take another look. Oh, there's the net violation. It's by the middle blocker. That's a perfectly good call. Viktor Yosifov. I mean, that's where Yosifov has got to say, hey, guys, be quiet. I netted. All you're doing is distracting your team. You're taking away some of their concentration, and you're making the official look bad, none of which is good. I mean, Yosifov just should have said, hey, I touched the net. I mean, under the new rules, the only net violations that are called are at the top of the tape. And that was clear on the replay. Block on the outside. Romanuti is blocked by Alexeyev, and now it is a 15-11 lead. And another one of the historic and very famous names for Argentine volleyball. This is Ivan Castellani, 22 years of age, 1 meter 96 centimeters. His father, of course, Danielle. World Championships, bronze medal in the Seoul Olympic Games, and also has coached Argentina, Poland, and most recently he has coached Finland. Luciano Di Cecco taking things into his own hands, able to get that ball to the floor, but Bulgaria still leading 15-12. Remember, technical timeouts at 8 and 16. And that ball hit out of bounds. Gatsev missing that one wide, so that's a freebie for Argentina. Di Cecco back once again. Oh, that ball's out of bounds. There's no question about that. Alexeyev. That ball hit out of bounds. And so points in a row now for Bulgaria, and the head referee, Denis Cespedes, wants to talk to Todor Alexeyev. That ball was very, very close to the line. Timeout called by Bulgaria after they had pulled away and were looking pretty comfortable here in this second set. That was basically where the coach tells all his players to shut up. If he has a problem with the referees, he'll tell his captain. They'll take care of it. But just attenzione, pay attention. Because just like Argentina let the first set slip away, Bulgaria right on the verge of returning the favor. And out of the timeout, Di Cecco misses that serve out of bounds. And we'll have another break as we have come to the second technical timeout. Bulgaria leading 16-14. Second match of this opening day of the World League Finals, the 24th edition. $1 million to the winners, $500,000 to the runners-up. Saw the chart that Camilo Placci, Bulgarian head coach, and you saw quadrants of the court sort of blacked out. That's through all of their scouting, that those are the areas where the Argentinian players, on this set, they primarily hit the ball here. On this set, they primarily hit the ball here. So then he can position his defense and just put the odds slightly in their favor. Terrible play coming out and missing that serve. Argentina needs to take more risks serving because they don't block many balls. They haven't blocked a ball tonight. But Bulgaria, on the other hand, much better blocking team. Well, how about serve the ball in and give yourself a chance? Pereira is really off his game tonight. He's a good player. You think it's the shoes? Castellani that time off of Alexeyev. Always like Castellani. He's got a live arm, brings a little more size for Argentina. Certainly comes from wonderful bloodlines. He knows the game. But I think Javier Weber really likes the luxury of bringing him off the bench. Quiroga through the block and down. Tied at 17. Better defense by Argentina. They're moving a little bit better. Rodrigo Quiroga has been sensational so far. Bad pass, slam dunk by Quiroga. And the attenzione part of the discussion among the Bulgarian players has not taken hold as yet. They trail by 1. They led by as many as 3 just moments ago. Another unforced error. 19-17 Argentina. Pretty good touch out of the middle, kept alive. Sokolov just crushing that ball cross court. Almost took off the head of Marcos Milinkovic along the Argentine sideline. A little bit of a wet spot. Take a moment to do some house cleaning. Got to make sure the court's dry. There was a lot of resistance because they thought that it would slow the game down, but you gotta player safety comes first. So get the court dry, get it in perfect shape, and off we go. Took a few seconds. Heck, it took 5 minutes to sort out what happened at the scorer's table. Oh, every time, Svetan Sokolov. I would just set him time and time and time again, particularly when you're not in a good rhythm. Castellani decides or shanks and just gives that ball to Bulgaria. I mean, what are you going to do about that? Especially when it's Sokolov at 2:06 going up against the diminutive Quiroga. Good touch one-on-one on the outside by Skrimov. Argentina leading 20-19. That's a good high swing. That's a good swing by Castellani. Oh, and that carries way out of bounds. Here is Sokolov again. Had a terrible night so far serving. Finally got one in the court. That ball hit out of bounds by Quiroga. A rare mistake by Quiroga, and that'll be a quick timeout called by Javier Weber. Bulgaria, just like that. Couple of sets to Sokolov. He goes back for the first time all night, serves well, and they lead at 21-20. Timeout, Argentina. Sokolov again, taking a little something off that. Salparov thought about letting that ball go, and that is crushed by Viktor Yosifov out of the middle, and now Bulgaria leading at 22-20. Argentina in real trouble right now. Quiroga down the line. Upcoming schedule for tomorrow in the opening match on day 2. Russia will play Canada. Bulgaria will play Italy. Argentina has the day off. Their next match will be against Italy on the final day of the 3-day preliminary round. Semifinals on Saturday, finals on Sunday. Nicolas Bruno on to serve now for Argentina, and he misses that into the top of the tape. Very little margin for error for Argentina. That ball right on the end line, beautifully done. Argentina has to pass really well and get some opportunities. Biggest guys they got on the team, and the real size is out of the middle. Soleil over the top that time. Soleil at 202, Creer at 205. Pretty good size, but they are really small on the outside. So now that is set points for Bulgaria. Alexeyev right over the top of the block into the deep cross-court corner. And Soleil unable to get in front of that. Coming on to serve, Dobomir Dimitrov, number 9 in red, white, and green, the colors of Bulgaria. Got to get the ball to the middle. That's where their size is. They can make life very difficult for Bulgaria. Set point number 2 for Bulgaria. Here is Dicheko. Yeah, got to go to Sokolov, and there it is. Oh, he missed it out. They called it out of bounds, but overruled. I'm looking at the linesman. That ball was on the sideline. Good work by the officials, and just like that, Bulgaria is on top 2-0. You knew this ball had to go to Sokolov. A little wishful thinking on the part. Yeah, there you saw Alexis Gonzalez saying, yep, that ball was in. The second set is over, and it is back-to-back set wins for Bulgaria by a score of 28-26 and 25-23. Teams will take a short break, and we'll be back with set number 3. Bulgaria leading 2-0. This is the FiVB World League Finals in Mar del Plata, Argentina.
It comes up when these teams last met in Sofia. Argentina on the wrong end of some pretty terrible refereeing decisions. They only won one set. Yeah, they lost 3-1, but it should certainly be 2-2 all. The 2 set points they had in the third set, they basically, they won the set and had it turned over both times. Weather was beside himself.
Teams back out on the floor. Argentina trailing Bulgaria 2-0. They lost the first after having a big lead, 18-13. Bulgaria came back to win 28-26 and just took the second 25-23, and we're underway, and Bulgaria is on the scoreboard first. That is Todor Skrimov. Very, very good, solid all-around player. Every team needs one. Someone who can pass, play defense, serve, hit off the left side, hit a variety of sets, play fast, play high. A little bit slow, cleaning up a wet spot on the floor. Maintenance complete, and we will start set number 3 again. Here is Gatsev serving, and misses that into the top of the tape. Has not been a pretty match as far as service errors are concerned. Federico Pereira needs to step it up for Argentina. They really need his heat off the left side, and he has not been good so far on the night, and neither was his replacement, Pablo Bengolea. He really struggled when he came in the match. Dicheko with a chase. Do you come back to Sokolov again? No, left side. Skrimov off the top of the block. Oh, just a crush cross court by Sokolov. I don't think Sokolov has any idea how good he can be. Todor Salparov got caught up, got run over. The little libero got run over in the course of that rally. Good touch out of the middle, chance for Bulgaria. Not to Sokolov, off Skrimov, dug again by Dicheko. And that was the first bad swing that Rodrigo Quiroga has taken so far on the night. That was a bad swing. Got to be patient, got to make good decisions. He just said, what the heck? I'm going to swing hard at this ball, and he did, and Yosifov got him straight down. Somebody has got to tell Sokolov that he's tossing the ball way too far into the court. His serving tonight has been awful. And I'm being nice. Sokolov couldn't track that one down, so an easy point for Argentina. Sokolov goes after this ball, and he landed a little bit awkwardly. He was stretching out that right ankle after he came away from the court signage. Quiroga finds a small seam in the block. Now, just like that, after a very slow start, Argentina on top 4-3. Sokolov just made the rounds and said, set me. So they're having to chase so hard. That was a very poorly formed block for Argentina. I mean, Sokolov could have basically hit that ball anywhere. But if you're Argentina, you got to take some chances because they're so small. Nice one-hander by Dicheko setting up Castellani. Alexeyev finding the late blocker. He is so smart. I was just looking at the results from last year's World League. The best scorer, Todor Alexeyev. 51 kills, 11 blocks, 3 aces. Best receiver, Todor Alexeyev, Bulgaria. Very, very impressive performance. Oh, what a block. He is really an interesting guy. He played professionally in several countries. Now he's playing in the top league in Russia. And he, along with the rest of his team, played part of the Intercontinental Round in the United States. And I was covering the match and had a chance to speak with the Bulgarian captain after the match. His English is so good, and he is just so well read and so well informed. Really an interesting guy and a pretty good player to boot. He's got a young family, he's making a good living, and just wants to keep playing the sport he enjoys. Tied at 6. Again, the first technical timeout will come when a team reaches 8. That was a poorly handled ball. Sokolov again. What an outlet Sokolov is. We'll give you some of the scoring. I know the third set is underway, but through 2 sets, Svetan Sokolov, number 19 in red, had 13 points. Todor Skrimov had 8. Argentina a little bit more balanced. That's a nice play by Castellani. Leading the way was Rodrigo Quiroga with 11. That ball is served out of bounds. A free point for Bulgaria, and that'll get us to the technical timeout. Teams will head to the sidelines, and Bulgaria leading 2-0, 8-7 here in the third. This is the opening night of the World League Finals here in Mar del Plata, Argentina. Interesting dynamic. Camilo Placci, I think he understands, and I agree with him, that the key to Argentina is Rodrigo Quiroga. He passes, he plays defense, he takes all the tough swings on the left side. If they can slow him down a little bit, put some pressure on him, serve him, I think that they would be on their way, and they come right out by serving him. Castellani again off the top of the block. Ivan Castellani has come on, done a very nice job for Argentina. Came on late in the second set. No question there's a touch on Gatsev. Tied at 8. Here's DeCecco, and he misses that out of bounds. Javier Weber's got to be very one concerned volleyball coach, and it all changed in the opening set. Seems a lifetime ago Argentina led 18-13 and gave that first set away. Pablo Creer with a kill out of the middle. That's where Argentina needs to go. Their outside hitters just too undersized against this big block. Sokolov again. Wow, what a mismatch. That's where you get hurt, literally and figuratively, if you're a small outside blocker like Quiroga is. It's one thing you can get away with being a very effective hitter, but not an effective blocker. And Sokolov needs to stop jump serving. It is just a waste of energy. He has missed 8, 9 serves so far tonight. It's one of the worst serving performances I've seen in a long time. That ball is missed by Skrimov. And now Argentina back on top, and the crowd trying to get involved, but they've been frustrated so far this evening, and with good reason. Alexeyev misses that out of bounds. So back-to-back free points for Argentina. This is a country that really knows the sport of volleyball. They've been producing really good players for a long, long time. It was a pretty good drought after the great teams of the 80s. But this is a very good young group. Unfortunately, again, Facundo Conti is unavailable because of a recent shoulder surgery. I spoke with his father, Ugo, who's here working for local television. And he said it was minor, the surgery went fine, and he'll be headed back to Russia to continue his professional career once again. But both middle blockers are 22. Luciano Di Cecco is very young and one of the top up-and-coming setters. Castellani is good. This is a pretty good generation of Argentinian players. Soft shot by Quiroga, and of course to Sokolov, no. Alexeyev able to get that ball to the floor. Boy, he is not your traditional guy. A little bit heavy around the midsection. He's got a pretty good left arm, and boy, he knows how to play volleyball. Doesn't jump the highest, hit the hardest, but he's just one of the most efficient. Here's Yosifov. Castellani again off the block and out of bounds. Ivan Castellani has been really good. Argentina collectively just has not played well enough to get over the hump. They lost the opening set 28-26, the second 25-23. Skrimov on the back row combination. Very well delivered by Georgi Bratoev. And that tap down against Sokolov. He was watching the ball, not the hitter. You got to watch the hitter. Watch out to the left of your screen, number 19. Well, maybe not. I think I was wrong. He was watching. He just stopped too far inside, didn't front the hitter. Oh, that's a nice choice. Number 3, Stoyan Samonyev. Boy, that is really a good set to career out of the middle. Di Cecco doing everything he can to get the ball into the middle to the most size Argentina has to offer. We've come to the second technical timeout. Third set, Argentina leading 16-14. DeCecco back to serve, and Salparov didn't look like he was ready. And just like that, Bulgaria gives up one of those free points. And now it's 17-14. Ace serve again between Skrimov and Salparov. And now it is an 18-14 lead. That's a great spot. That is really a great spot. Beautiful choice and execution by DeCecco. Timeout called by Bulgaria. This is the Isla Malvinas Competition Hall, the opening night of the 24th edition of the World League. And this is the finals. That ball served just out of bounds, coming out of the timeout. Argentina led 16-14 at the technical timeout. They've expanded that a little bit thanks to some unforced errors and a couple of very poor reception attempts by Bulgaria. Somonyev serving one-on-one, and that ball by Federico Pereira off of Skrimov and out of bounds. Don't forget the two matches coming your way tomorrow. Be sure to join us for day 2. Russia and Canada in the opener, followed by Bulgaria and Italy. And on the third day of the preliminary or round robin portion of this final, it'll be Canada and Brazil, followed by Italy and Argentina, and then the semifinals on Saturday, the finals on Sunday. Nicholas Bruno, defensive and serving specialist on. Quiroga off the block and out of bounds. That was really an aggressive swing, and they're having some fun with that. Javier Weber just laughed as this ball went off this huge block and out of bounds. Ooh, just out of bounds. Boy, that was a lucky swing. Argentina leading by 5. And make it 4, the kill out of the middle by Yosifov. Viktor Yosifov, now 27 years of age, 2 meters, 4 centimeters. One of 5 players on the roster back from the London Olympic Games, where Bulgaria finished 4th. Sokolov wanted that one, but why not? He served every ball so far tonight out of bounds. Why would that one be in? Argentina 4 points away from getting on the board and making this a little interesting. Oh, Skrimov, that is such a good shot. Just hanging in the air and looking for a spot to tap this ball down. Look to the right of your screen. Just hanging and slicing off the angle. Beautifully done. Tap down out of the middle once again, and as many sets as possible going into the middle. Nicholas Uriarte coming on now as part of the double sub. Romanutti will come in the left front, and Uriarte will enter into the back. And Nicholas Uriarte, his father John, one of the great players for Argentina as well, played in Seoul, coached Australia very successfully. Pretty good serve coming right up off the bench. And that ball put to the floor by Quiroga. Now it is 23-17. It's going to be an easy set win after Bulgaria closed things up. Timeout called by Bulgaria at 23-17. This is what Bulgaria does sometimes, just goes a little bit flat, loses their focus. They came out of the technical timeout 16-14, gave up a couple of aces, and this set was basically gone. Uriarte missing that, quieting the crowd for just a moment, and Yosifov back to serve. Quiroga is blocked by Alexeyev. 1-on-1. That's just an outstanding block, just outstanding. 23-19. One more and Argentina certainly has to call a timeout. Perfect pass, 1-on-1 again. That ball sliced into the cross court. Now set points for Rodrigo Quiroga and Argentina. Ooh, that was close. But once the ball is down, the point is over. So close doesn't count as far as violating the center line. Set point. Sokolov just keeping that ball in play. Salparov with a wonderful dig. Bulgaria trying to stay alive. Alexeyev off the block and out of bounds. Just hits the edges of the block and never gives up easy points. Georgi Bratoev going back to serve. Set point number 2 for Argentina. And that'll do it. Bulgaria with a chance to wrap it up, and they have one very, very upset head coach in Camilo Placci. But Argentina comes back and gets on the scoreboard, but they still trail Bulgaria 2-1. Biggest difference, of course, in that set, you look over in the aces column, and a couple of those coming after the 16-14 technical timeout to really give Argentina some separation and sent them on their way a little bit better offensively. And again, Argentina goes through another set without blocking a ball. So Argentina currently ranked number 9 in the world against number 8 Bulgaria. Bulgaria again has certainly had the better of it in World League competition. This is the 16th meeting. Bulgaria has won 12, and 2 of those coming earlier this year when Bulgaria and Argentina were in the same group. And Bulgaria beat Argentina both matches 3-0, 3-1. Svetan Sokolov, the leading scorer in the match so far with 18 points. Todor Skrimov has 11, as does Todor Alexeyev. The leading scorer for Argentina is Rodrigo Quiroga with 16 total points. He is 15 of 23 attacking, 15 of 23. That is really, really good. Once again, if you're just joining us, 18 countries in all participated in the early intercontinental round of this World League. 6 reaching the finals. And Argentina could use a lot more of that. In one group, Argentina, Italy, Bulgaria, and in the other, Russia, Brazil, Canada. And if you weren't watching our earlier coverage, Russia beat Brazil 3-2 in the opening match of these World League finals. Paul Sunderland here on behalf of the FiVB. Thanks so much for joining us. And we've got a long way to go. The tournament just getting started. Svetan Sokolov, one of the worst serving matches I can remember. And it just got worse. If I was his head coach, I would tell him just to stand on the ground and serve the ball underhand. That's embarrassing. I love it. Out of the middle once again. Absolutely love it. More sets to the middle to Krier and Soleil, the 2 middle blockers for Argentina. That's a place where they can go and have an even-handed matchup. Here's Krier. Sokolov again unloading down the line. I think he got a front Sokolov. And when I say front him, start wider. Don't let him hit the ball down the line. That ball is coming at you so fast and so hard. Make him hit the ball cross court. Make him change the direction on the ball. And the ball is traveling farther, means it's slowing down. And you have a chance to play some defense around that. You got no chance on that shot down the line. Oh, that's a smart shot. Decheko was there and he stopped. Bratoev gets the kill, and Bulgaria on top early, 4-3 here in the 4th. Bulgaria again is such a good serving team. Excuse me, blocking team. They just got to serve more balls in the net. They put no pressure on Argentina whatsoever by missing this many serves. Overpass, Quiroga with his 16th kill. A serve working on Skrimov. Ivan Castellani has come on and done a really, really good job. Yeah, that's a free point. You don't expect to get a service ace off of a jump float serve, and now Valentin Bratoev, the twin brother of Georgi, the setter, is now on the floor wearing number 11 in red. Camilo Placci taking some time now, talking to his servers, making sure they keep the ball in the court. Castellani again, right on the sideline, but it's overruled by Denis Cespedes, and no argument from Argentina. The head referee wanted to spend a moment with Luciano De Cecco and Todor Alexeyev. The yellow card has been awarded, if you will, to Alexis Gonzalez, the libero. That is a warning for being a bad guy, or a naughty guy anyway. Tied at 6. Into the middle again, good help by Alexeyev. And Quiroga, that ball was called in. Quiroga with his 17th kill. And now a red card is going to be charged against the head coach for Bulgaria, Camilo Placci. And that's going to cost Bulgaria a point. And that will get us to the technical timeout. Bulgaria's got to be very careful. They got enough to worry about playing against Argentina. And in the interests of honesty and full disclosure, of course, we have to point out that the linesmen here are Argentinian. And that makes it really hard. I'm not saying they're trying to cloud the game. I'm just talking about natural instincts. If the ball is close, you see it in. So it does make it a little bit tougher. A challenge system has been initiated by the FiVB, and I love it. You get 2 challenges per set. It's going to solve a lot of this situation with homegrown linesmen, if you will. But there have been some early on technical issues here in Mar del Plata with the challenge system, and we'll have that sorted out in the next day or so, and it will be in place certainly for the semifinals and the finals. I'm just being told that the challenge system will be, in fact, in place tomorrow. So that's really good news. So much of this will go away, and what a shot by Sokolov. Bulgaria's got to focus their attention on the court and not worry about the calls or lack thereof from the linesmen. Argentina leading 8-7. Todor Alexeyev, their captain. Out of the middle again. I love the game plan. Soleil and Krier as early and often as you possibly can. And a lot of this controversy has really gotten the crowd fired up here at Isla Malvinas. Oh, that's a good touch by Federico Pereira on the outside. But a net violation is called against Argentina. There is Samoniev. And Castellani misses. Wow, that ball was way out. Danny Cespedes is doing the best he can, but his job is to run the match. Watch where this ball goes. That ball's out. He's got to watch the net. He's got to watch the ball handling. That is a bad call. Quiroga, net violation on Bulgaria. Everything's starting to go Argentina's way right now, and once Camilo Placci picked up that red card, he's got to be careful. He's still chirping at one of the linesmen. Argentina leading 11-8. That ball tapped down out of the middle by Viktor Yosifov. This has just gotten very interesting. I got nothing to say. Another missed serve by Sveton Sokolov. I don't have the current stats in front of me, but I think he's missed 12 serves. 12. I know you've got to serve tough. You've got to get the opposition off the net and out of system. But some nights are just not your nights. Good cover by Gonzalez out of the left back, and Pereira is stuffed. Now that's 12-11. Bulgaria seems to have gotten past some of the distractions of the line calls. Pablo Krier now serving for Argentina, working on Alexeyev. Back to Alexeyev, and puts the ball away against three blockers. Todor Alexeyev having another he rarely has a spectacular match, but he always has a solid match. That is just so good. On the service error, point possession back to Ivan Castellani, and Argentina trailing 2-1, but leading here in the fourth, 14-12. Down the line again. Still saying you got to take away his line, force him to change direction of the ball, because he's just seeing right over the top of the block. Bulgaria trailing by 1. Oh, Quiroga. What a night Quiroga's having. Some nights, everything you throw up there just finds a way. to go off the block. That's just a half-speed shot. Sokolov has got to work a little harder. He's not really getting high up and over the net the way he's physically capable of doing. Remember, a technical timeout comes at 16. And Alexeyev again into the cross court. This set going right down to the wire. Good deep floater. Argentina off the net. Castellani finding a way to get that ball through the block, and we've come to the second technical timeout. Argentina 16, Bulgaria 14 as the teams head to the sideline. Marcos Milinkovic sharing some words of his many years of experience with Federico Pereira. Argentina could use a big finish from Pereira. He has been not good so far tonight. Number 12 in light blue and white. Oh, that's a really nice change of pace by Sokolov. 16-15 Argentina. The block is drifting all over the place. As a middle blocker, when you know you're going to be late, you got to get to a spot and stop. Otherwise, it's just too difficult to play defense behind. Sokolov again into the cross court. Castellani was way out of position. So now we're tied at 16. Now the setter, DeCecco. And Sokolov again, he has just been absolutely unstoppable, and give a lot of credit to Georgi Bratoev, his setter. Bratoev, number one. I mean, everybody knows where the ball is going, and he's still getting him isolated one-on-one. That is really, really a good job of setting the ball. I mean, I don't want to beat the young man up, but he's got to get a trophy for the worst serving performance in the history of the World League. It's basically a free point for Argentina every time Sokolov goes back to the line. But he can do that. Boy, can he do that. Again, the last match in Varna in Bulgaria over the defending champions from Poland, Svetan Sokolov had 31 points. Tied at 18. Oh, DeCecco didn't get off the floor. There was nobody there to cover. And Bulgaria has come back after trailing 16-14 to now lead 19-18. Coming out of the timeout called by Argentina, Valentin Britoov. Britoov will go back to serve. You saw the production on the evening so far for Svetan Sokolov. Out of the middle once again. I don't know why Bulgaria doesn't commit a little bit more on the perfect pass to Krier and to Soleil, because that's where Argentina wants to and where they need to go. Big swing for Alexeyev. Oh, Quiroga doing a nice job jumping over his teammate and then putting the ball to the floor. I'd love to see this again. Watch during the course of the transition. We don't see the play. Quiroga had to jump over one of his teammates in order to get into position to take a swing at that ball. Really, really an outstanding athletic play. And with that, Argentina back-to-back points, and they lead 20-19. Krier now serving for Argentina. Perfect pass by Alexeyev and off the block and out of bounds. Just solid, solid, solid. Tied at 20. Substitution coming on now. Yosifov going to the sideline, and he's being replaced by Dobomir Dimitrov as a serving and defensive specialist. Last time he came in, he served the ball out of bounds. So can't do that again. Very good flat float serve. Sokolov, what a beautiful set that time for Bulgaria. And Svetan Sokolov able to put that ball away, and another timeout called by Argentina. That is their second timeout, second and final timeout. Remember Bulgaria, we've been here a while. Bulgaria won the opening two sets, 28-26, 25-23, before losing the third 25-23, and now lead it by one. Upcoming matches, again, the schedule tomorrow. Russia will play Canada in the opener, followed by Bulgaria and Italy. And then on the final evening of the preliminaries, it'll be Canada and Brazil, Italy and Argentina. Svetan Sokolov having a huge match once again. And that ball carries out of bounds. Wow. Dobomir Dimitrov has come in to serve, served one ball well and missed two. That's just not getting the job done. Nicolas Uriarte coming on now to serve for Argentina. Tied at 21. Must-win set for Argentina to stay alive. Not necessarily in the tournament, obviously, but in the match as we've just gotten underway. And a service winner by Uriarte, and just like that, Argentina leads 22-21. And now Bulgaria will call their second and final timeout. Tied at 22. No, excuse me, Argentina leading now 22-21. Boy, serve wasn't that tough by Uriarte. Right into the lap of Todor Salparov. Really good libero, and he just missed it. Over the top of the block and cannot be retrieved by Nicholas Bruno into play defense. Now we're tied at 22. Georgi Bratoev back to serve. And stuff block out of the middle. Sveton Sokolov. Castellani coming back on. DeCecco coming back on. Sveton Sokolov may look 33, but he's only 23, so he's just coming into his own. Bulgaria now 2 points away. And now make it 1 point away off the service winner, and it was just moments ago that Argentina had the 21-20 advantage. And all of a sudden it has gotten very, very quiet at Islas Malvinas. Match point. And that ball is called good. Another very controversial, and I can't criticize the referees. This is away from Denis Cespedes. It's completely away from him, and the ball is coming right at Nasser Shaban. Well, you can see the reaction from Bulgaria, no question about that. Very, very tough overrule. Tomorrow we will have the challenge system. Match point number 2, and that'll do it. A lot of emotion involved in that match for Bulgaria because they know they had a real uphill battle. And they win it 3-1. Every one of the sets, a deuce set, 28-26, 25-23 to Bulgaria, 25-23 to Argentina, 25-23 to Bulgaria. Sveton Sokolov was the offensive, certainly not the serving star, but the offensive star. Make no mistake about that. He was incredibly physical and impressive, and a frustrating night for Argentina. They had their chances. Going back to the opening set, Argentina led, you'll remember, 18-13, and then there was the problem with the scores table and a distraction, and Argentina let that opening set get away. And then it was going to be a real long battle. And Bulgaria was able to come out on top 3-1. Interesting international match, no question about that. And the schedule tomorrow, Argentina has the day off from competition, where Bulgaria will be playing Italy. And the final score, once again, Bulgaria wins it 3-1. Going to be a good one tomorrow against against Italy, because that was the matchup for the bronze medal at the London Olympic Games. And that will be a little bit of maybe a revenge match. Lots of familiar faces and familiar players, no doubt about it. And now we've got the statistics. There are the stats from the fourth set. And Bulgaria doing a good job finally blocking. You'd expect them to outblock Argentina, a much more physical team. Also eliminated some errors. And Bulgaria goes on to win a very unusual match, to say the least. Todor Alexeyev, their fine captain, will be here to visit with us in just a minute. And we'll talk about some of the things that happened so far in this match tonight. And we want to get the results up here for you in the pool. Obviously, Bulgaria now goes out on top. Italy will play tomorrow against Bulgaria. Very, very interesting matchup indeed as the team. The audience is headed for the doors, and a frustrating night for Argentina, but a very, very successful one for Bulgaria. Make no mistake about that. And here is how the pool looks. Thank you very much. Bulgaria on top. They earn all 3 points. And Argentina and Italy, of course, not in action just yet. And joining us now, the captain for Bulgaria, Todor Alexeyev. And Todor, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. Talk to us a little bit about the match overall. Obviously, it was a challenge. Some of the calls, it was very controversial, and you had to fight through. Sveton Sokolov has so much talent. Does he know how good he can be? Because tonight he was very good offensively, but his serving really hurt you. He was not good from the service line at all.
I don't want to talk about that because we won the game. Yeah, he had difficulties about the serve, but we have 3 guys that serve jump float and we compensated.
Okay.
So everything is okay when finished okay.
Okay. What about Italy tomorrow? It's a rematch. You know one another very, very well. You played for the bronze medal at the London Olympics. But now it seems that your team is playing at a little higher level for longer periods of time, save for the third set tonight.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope that we can fight them and beat them. Of course, we want to be first in the group, no matter what. Who is going to play in the other group? Right. So we don't care. We just want to win.
Todor, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. You helped your team fight through an awful lot tonight.
Thank you.
Okay. Todor Alexeyev, the star captain for Bulgaria, and doing a very, very good job indeed in helping to lead that team offensively. You know, and he did a really good job. I wasn't trying to corner him, but you know, he was very gracious about dealing with some of the controversial calls and non-calls, and also in standing up for his teammate, and that's what a good captain does. So Todor Alexeyev, really a classy player and a classy captain for Bulgaria as they go on to win over Argentina 3-1. That's going to be a frustrating one for Argentina to swallow. Rodrigo Quiroga had an absolutely brilliant night, offensively, passing, and defensively for Argentina, but they could just not pull it out. So Argentina will have a day to lick their wounds, and they will take on Italy on the final evening of the qualification. And as Todor Alexeyev said, they now face Italy tomorrow. You saw a little bit of a wry smile on his face, so it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens tomorrow between Italy and Bulgaria. The other match, the opener tomorrow, I'm just looking at that schedule. Russia will play Canada. If you're just joining us, Russia defeated Brazil earlier this evening in 5 sets. So that'll do it for the opening night of the World League Finals in Mar del Plata, Argentina. And as just mentioned, the opening match tomorrow will be Russia and Canada. Well, Brazil gets the day off. Argentina will rest, and then Bulgaria will be back at it, and we will see the 3rd-ranked team in the world from Italy as they get underway for the first time. For all of us here in Mar del Plata, I'm Paul Sunderland. Thanks so much for joining us. This has been the FiVB World League